Today's video is sponsored by Brilliant.org. Interested in learning math, science, or computer science in a fun, interactive way online? Brilliant is the best way to do it. It is hands-on learning that works like a story, slowly building your skills and confidence each step of the way. Brilliant has thousands of lessons with exclusive new content added monthly. Embark on a journey into the world of computer science, logic, beautiful geometry, and so much more. Brilliant will help you to learn specific skills, like understanding casino probability, which is convenient because I'm about to go win it big in Vegas this year.
Woohoo! Yeah!
Never mind. After just a few lessons, it turns out I understand that the casino always wins. Do yourself a favor and learn a new skill or concept the right way. You'll be shocked with how learning these subjects is actually enjoyable. To get started for free, visit brilliant.org/allthingsDnD or click on the link in the description. The first 200 of you will get 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. And now what you're here for. Hauntingly beautiful 4th grader. I played an incomprehensibly bad D&D game. A friend of mine had invited me to join a random one-shot of some D&D 5e someone in his server was hosting with a few of our mutual friends, who would be playing for the very first time. Why not? Couldn't be too bad, I thought. Oh, how naive I was. The DM was running a Tokyo-esque cyberpunk setting, which was fairly exciting at first, and he also claimed to be a rather experienced DM, which enticed me into the game further. The issues started early with the DM's odd arrogance that the one-shot would turn into a full campaign, saying things like, "All my previous one-shots have turned into campaigns," in cocky tones. It was a bit off-putting off the bat. He also is adamant that we have a healer. Apparently only one NPC in the entire setting sold healing potions or something of the sort. That was a bit weird as well. He also told us how we were going to go from level 2 to level 3 mid-one-shot, which I found quite odd. He continued to forewarn us how we'd only level up if we interacted a certain way with a certain NPC, and if some of us didn't, we'd be behind a level. Big spoiler here, we never met this NPC, nor did we make it to level 3. Now, I found this pretty odd, especially considering the fact that there are 3 new players at this table, and that everyone gaining their subclasses and leveling up in the middle of a one-shot might be kind of strange for said new players. I mentioned to one of the new players that leveling up mid-game is kind of weird, and to not stress about it when it comes up, to which the DM became incredibly defensive, and went on to tell me how I shouldn't hamper creative vision, and that he asked many experienced DMs about it. The DM also allowed one of the players to play over text the entire game. He didn't read out the text or anything himself, and play sound effects for their character. It was really awkward once we actually got into the game. One last issue before the game is that the DM demanded we use the dice on D&D Beyond. I explained to the DM that on my laptop, D&D Beyond dice are super choppy and take up to 30 seconds to actually roll, to which the DM just told me to roll your dice before your turn in combat. When I explained to him how stupid that is and spent a solid 5 minutes arguing about it, he luckily added a dice bot to the server we were playing in. My friend who invited me had already dipped from all the red flags, but still wanted to listen in. I only stayed to try and help the new players have a slightly better experience, and to witness whatever the hell this game would turn out to be like. Oh boy, did it turn out to be something special. Finally, we began the game, and something immediately struck me. Oh my god, he's playing Vocaloid during the game. He played Vocaloid, and later Japanese rap throughout the entire one-shot. Not even instrumentals. Not even like hand-picked tracks at least. His playlist of Vocaloid music was playing through the entire game. To say it was distracting is putting it mildly. Okay, after I got over the whiplash of the Vocaloid, our party met with a character who would hire us to do a job. The guy wanted us to go investigate some murders in the city for pay. Okay, cool. This might still be okay. The new players began role-playing their asses off immediately. It was a really cool sight, honestly, as they tried to haggle this guy for a mild increase in pay, to which the character and DM shut down to an insane degree. No reciprocation of the new players' really fun roleplay. No persuasion rolls, and he even began threatening the party that if we kept trying to roleplay, we basically wouldn't even get the quest and the game would end. So we reluctantly all set out to do the quest. This is also where it became apparent that the DM did not help out any of the 3 new players make their sheets, or teach them anything about D&D or the mechanics. After leaving the worst roleplay experience ever, we left the guy's headquarters. One of the new players asked the DM to recount some of what the guy told us before we head out to do his job, and what the DM said next flashbanged me into next week, and might have given me a concussion. The DM asked, "Roll me a history check." I was flabbergasted, bamboozled, bewildered, befuddled. The DM wanted a history check to recall what the NPC had just said to us 0.5 nanoseconds ago. I didn't mention anything, but I was in a state of complete and utter shock. Don't forget the Vocaloid is still playing. Luckily, the players succeeded their check. Who knows if we could have even gotten to play if they failed, and we started searching for information in the area. We made our way into another part of the city where the DM randomly decided to bring up the red light district in the area, which was apparently right next to the school. He also thought it was necessary to mention the strange noises and grunts coming from an alley, which weirded me out personally. We started asking questions of a pleasantly offensive drug addict stereotype, who is just as great as you think he is. At this point, we started noticing that basically every NPC would react to us in the exact same way, being weirded out by the party and acting super abrasive. Every single NPC acted the exact same way, and it got kind of exhausting. After nearly 2 hours of absolute nothing meandering trying to find information on the murders from cookie-cutter weirded out NPCs, we finally found an NPC who proceeded to describe, and ISHU not, the exact words used were, a hauntingly beautiful 4th grader around the area. That description and the way it was said had the whole table weird champing out, and don't forget Vocaloid was underscoring that description. Anyway, this info led us to a boarding school trying to find the hauntingly beautiful 4th grader. The DM kept making non-stop pedo jokes about our characters while we were investigating, which was really uncomfortable for all of us. At this time, the Vocaloid playlist ran out, so one of the new players had to start playing music to fill the dead air. Luckily, it was OSTs for scenes and not Miku. No offense to the Queen Miku. We finally found the 4th grader who was possessed or something like that, and 3 hours into the one-shot, we had our first combat. Finally, I was so happy to at least have something that wasn't shitty RP or pedo jokes. Unfortunately for us, the combat didn't even last one round. The yokai and the hauntingly beautiful 4th grader herself decided to skedaddle, and the combat ended. Okay, we guessed we had to follow it. So we did all that only to find ourselves in a hallway puzzle with 7 doors, which were magic-proof so we couldn't try and do anything clever with the puzzle. At this point, we were going overtime where we were supposed to, but luckily for us, the DM could keep going. Extra lucky for us, one of the new players decided to straight lie to get us out of the one-shot and said they had to go. Thank you, thank God. The DM asked us when we can all come back for another game, and we all awkwardly said we weren't interested in another one and left. The poor new players said they did not end up having a good time, and holy hell, neither did I. I'm gonna be honest, I don't believe this guy was a very experienced DM at all. Hahaha. This is only a peek behind the curtain of absolute boredom and misery we experienced playing this game. Let this be a warning to all ye players. Beware any DM who likes to talk about hauntingly beautiful 4th graders. Big yikes. Here's another story about another terrible DM. DM has decided I'm lying about my roles because I'm a girl, and wants to roll for me for the rest of the campaign. Let me start by saying I know it sounds like I'm in the wrong, that he must have a reason to think I'm lying about my roles, so I can succeed or something, but I truly have no idea why he even thinks that I am, because I swear I've never lied about a role before. So basically, I'm the only girl, 20, in my current D&D campaign, but I don't really mind or feel uncomfortable about it since all the guys I play with have been nothing but welcoming and chill towards me. They don't ever treat me any differently and are a great group of guys. My only grievance is that the DM has made comments since I started playing with them about how every female he's played with before always lies about their dice rolls so they can impress all the guys and look better and hotter in their eyes, which is a super weird thing to bring up in my opinion. I had just started, and it showed no signs of lying about anything, so I was already kinda weirded out that he felt the need to bring it up, but whatever. I kinda just brushed it off and said I had played before, and that I don't fake dice rolls because that ruins the experience, and the risk of the game and my actions, which ruins the game for me and everyone else. DMs seemed to accept that and let it go at the time. However, I've noticed that at least once per session, he will make some comment somewhere along the lines of how females just lie all the time. It's what they're biologically good at, and they all lie in games like this to look sexy to the men there. No one at the table really responds when he makes these comments. One of the guys tried once earlier on to mention that was a sexist and off-topic thing to bring up, but the DM got mad at being cut off from sharing his personal life experiences and knowledge, so no one has spoken up about it since. The last session was probably the most risky and dangerous situation the party's been in since the start of the campaign, and there were a few times where I had to roll, and lives were on the line if I failed. Somehow I managed to get at least the bare minimum I needed to succeed. Needed a 15 or higher in most cases, since I usually had advantages. Everyone else was having similar luck though, so I was just hyped that we were rolling lucky that night. I did also have plenty of horrible rolls. Got 2 nat 1s in a row at one point. Haha. 2, so it wasn't as if I was only rolling successes the whole session. But the DM seemed to be getting frustrated more and more with each successful roll I announced. He made a comment that I thought at the time was a joke. He chuckled and said it was almost like I was faking it to win with how good my luck was. I had been rolling in front of me where everyone could see, though nothing so was hidden. I didn't think that was any concern that I was cheating, so I just laughed and said that yeah, my luck was wild tonight. Then at the end of the session, the DM said I had one more save roll to get us out of there, avoiding another fight that would probably end badly for us. I needed a nat 20 or I would fail. One of my party members assisted, and so I had advantage, but the odds of success were still low. I rolled both dice, and by some miracle I did it. I rolled a nat 20 on both dice. It was glorious, and everyone was super hyped. The DM just looked mad, though, and we all joked that he wanted us to fail so he could show off more characters he made and do more of the fun combat stuff. He kinda chuckled and said it was something like that. The session then ended calmly with us getting back to our keep and getting set up to rest. Then we called it a night. Everyone packed up and we went our separate ways, assuming that was the end for that night. I got a message 2 hours later from the DM, and he was telling me he knows I cheated and lied about my dice rolls to look better in front of the guys. He said he was nice enough to not call me out there and embarrass me in front of everyone like he should have, but that he could no longer trust me. He demanded that I give him my dice the next session, and that from here on out he will be rolling behind his DM screen for me, since I'm proving to be just like every other lying female, and ruining the game for all the honest guys who are playing with me. I was stunned. I didn't know what to say, so I just told him I'd never lied, that I was sharing dice with one of the guys so they aren't some weighted set or anything, and that all my rolls were in the open where everyone could easily see, that I could understand he may have had bad experiences in the past with players, but I had done nothing wrong, and would not be letting him roll for my character the rest of the campaign. He is yet to respond, but I'm still so put off and insulted that he thought I was cheating or lying. I really like the group I play with, and the campaign story is super interesting, so I don't think I'll be quitting. But I certainly am not just going to sit by and not roll ever again, and I don't know what to do in this situation. And for those saying he has a crush on me, yeah, he asked me out when I was a freshman in high school and he was a senior. We were both in the same clubs and he seemed nice enough to give a chance. So I said yes. We only dated for about a month or two before he got super possessive and controlling and I broke it off. He was still super bitter, so I cut him off entirely up until about 2 years ago. We only reconnected because we live in a small town, and so we share most of the same friends. He asked me out 3 times since then, and I've turned him down each time. The last attempt he made at asking me out, I very bluntly told him that if he ever asked me out again, I would cut him out of my life permanently. He seemed to get the message and has, until this game started, actually been really chill around me, and never pushed my boundaries or said anything creepy. He just acted normally like all the other guys I'm friends with. Some of the other guys have said they will start to stand up for me in this matter. I screenshotted the conversation I had with the DM and sent it to them this morning, and they were all shocked he was acting like that to me. I live in a small town, and so this is the only group to play with around me. If I quit this group, I have no idea when or if I'll be able to play again, and I really do like the other guys in the party. But none of them like to DM, and I'm still super new and don't really feel comfortable trying to DM for the group. The campaign is also like 2/3 of the way done according to the timeline that the DM gave us, so I'll probably stick through it for the few sessions we have left, then see if there are online games, I guess, if DM is still acting creepy and like an incel. So we'll see in 2 weeks how it goes when we meet up for the next session. Tell us about your creepy and bad DM experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, All Things D&D. Stay tuned for more amazing Dungeons & Dragons content.